Would you like to understand Amazon's search algorithm? There has been an update on how different factors like sales velocity, product price, stock, and other metrics influence the visibility and ranking of Amazon products. In this video, John Tilley from Zonguru reveals what factors matter the most when it comes to ranking and why contextual SEO is one of the most effective product listing optimization strategies. If you want to try Zonguru for yourself, check the link below for a special offer.
Hello, John. Happy to have you here on Orange Click channel today to talk about the Amazon algorithm and what matters the most lately regarding to the algorithm. But before we dive into the topic, could you first introduce yourself and also let us know what is Zonguru and how do you help Amazon sellers?
Hey, Liz, it's good to be on with Orange Click. We've been on a few times and love what you're doing in the space. I am John Tilley, the co-founder of Zonguru, an operational toolset for Amazon sellers and agencies. We have a global audience and in terms of our marketplaces, we're integrated with North America, Europe, Australia, and India. And at your disposal, you have about 18 different tools to really help you at each key area of your Amazon business around, the operationally running your Amazon storefront. So how do you maximize your traffic? How do you maximize your conversions? How do you maximize your profitability and get all of the automations and alerts and business analytics that you need to be able to effectively run your storefront? So that's Zonguru at a high level. We have a very strong seller DNA, and we focus on tools that and views of our tools that are most impactful to moving the needle for your Amazon business in the fastest way. That's kind of one of the lenses that we look at everything when we're building our tools within Zonguru. So today we're going to talk about the ever-changing topic of the Amazon algorithm and trying to get insights around what matters most to help you improve the key things that you need, which is obviously getting more visibility, more traffic to your listings, and better conversions so that your business can grow with the help of Amazon.
Okay, I think you already gave a nice, good intro for your own presentation. So I will not add any more comments. I know what's the topic, but I don't know anything what you will present today. So I'm also eager to learn what's most important right now. So go ahead, share your screen, and let's go straight into it.
Yeah, so as we mentioned, we're going to talk about the latest Amazon algorithm updates. From our side as a software company, we're constantly looking at traffic, analyzing traffic to storefronts, from our customer base, how are they converting, what's happening in the industry. We obviously talk to Amazon itself. We're talking to industry leaders in the space and trying to understand, hey, what are they doing in the space to improve or change the algorithm to help them help us as customers, as sellers, to improve our business, but also help Amazon's bottom line, right? How do they grow their side? And I think that's an important thing whenever you're thinking about the algorithm, is think about it from Amazon's perspective as a business. Where are they at in a current status, and what are they trying to do? And we know at a high level right now on Amazon, they don't really have a traffic problem. They have a lot of traffic, right? And they have a lot of search volume, a lot of people on those fronts. But how do they create efficiencies around getting the right customers to the right storefronts that are going to convert in the fastest way, which will help to obviously bring in sales, but move stock through their whole distribution system as fast as possible, their distribution and warehousing system, right? So that's an interesting insight for you to think about, and it's kind of a secondary thought, but from Amazon's perspective, one of the biggest expenses from a seller, who's their customer, right, is the stock, getting the stock into Amazon and then moving the stock through Amazon's system and storing it, moving it through, getting it to the actual customer. That's a very expensive exercise for Amazon. So any ways that can help to efficiently move stock through and that it's not just sitting on Amazon's side is really going to be important. And I think from the algorithm perspective, they want to optimize for those types of businesses, right? So these are kind of insights that you should think about at a high level when thinking of Amazon. Now, we know it's an A9 algorithm. People in the space talk about A10 algorithm. I even talk about it there's no official A10 algorithm, and there may never be, right? But there's always updates that are happening to the algorithm. So these are some things that from our side we see as important factors that are influencing. And I said A10 there. I should just put it in inverted commas because it's not A10, right? But the latest updates to the algorithm, which is these are all the factors that come in. There's no new factors in here, but there are some things that are more important now than ever, right? We know that a big update was health score, right? And what that looks like. So now there's sales authority. There's things like reviews are not as important now as they were before. So these are some of the factors that go into it. Even my Amazon guy, they came out with their latest analysis of the space, and they see reviews as not being as important, and click-through rates being absolutely more important, which aligns a little bit more with some of our thinking, which is how do they more efficient at Amazon? How does it more efficiently get the traffic is there, but how do you get it through to your listing, right? And these are the things that we see as more important with regards to the algorithm. So from our perspective, keyword relevancy and impressions is important, right? So you can as a seller go and index for a bunch of non-relevant keywords and have those in your listing. But the more you can not just look at trying to get every single eyeball, but try and get the most relevant ones that actually, if they see your product, they're going to click on your listing. That's a critical piece. So getting more focused around, hey, there's so many different search criteria out there, but getting the ones that are relevant and finding keywords that can actually get that for you. We see that as a big benefit to listing optimization, finding the relevant keywords and making sure you can get those click through to your listing. That's a critical piece. So again, click-through rates and the main image. Optimizing for the most relevant keywords, getting the click-through, and making sure you have the right initial image to get the clicks is a critical piece of the algorithm and what you should focus on. Conversion, yes, for sure. Conversion is always critical, and more importantly, converting at a better rate than your competitors, right? So tracking traffic, session and conversion percentage is a critical piece, and we actually have that integrated into our dashboard. So sometimes it's a little funky to get out of Amazon itself, but we have that in our dashboard, which is great. Seller authority, that's been around for some time. Product offerings, so having a variety of not just having one or two SKUs, but having within a degree having different SKUs or offerings to ensure that you capture the traffic that comes through and get them to convert is important. And then consistent organic sales. So as you can keep your sales consistently going through, that your stock is moving through Amazon at a decent pace, which definitely helps them to be more efficient on their end, right? So and then the last piece there that I want to mention is off Amazon sales is great, and Amazon rewards you for that, right? There's a rebate that they have up to 10% on off Amazon traffic, and the reason they do that is, to that point I said earlier, they have traffic already from the Amazon systems and the awareness that they have. But if you can drive any additional traffic that they won't otherwise be getting, they would absolutely reward you for that, because it's sales that they'll be getting a percentage of that is not due to their impact. It's things that you as a seller are doing. So that's a critical piece. If you haven't integrated off Amazon traffic strategies into your business, you're missing out on a major piece of growing your business for sure. Okay, so what are some of the things that you should be doing for the algorithm? Good, relevant, qualified outside traffic, very, very important. Killer search image, so that initial main image needs to be amazing. And certainly, we've been testing a lot with AI now, and I wouldn't say replace those images, but AI can help you brainstorm really creative ways of angling and coming up with a different style of initial image. Which I think is great input into how you choose your actual image that you put onto your listing. So that's important. Make sure your listings are optimized for the most relevant and current search terms. So understanding what are customers actually typing into Amazon, and not just what your competitors are reverse indexed for, which a lot of tools out there, they just look at what listings are indexed for and say, hey, these are the most relevant keywords. But actually understanding, yes, those are important, but what are customers actually typing into this localized market, which is the most relevant terms, If you can find that, it's going to help you to do really well with the algorithm. Conversion is absolutely important. Your main aspect for sure. So those are the things that you should be focusing on. There's nothing incredibly different, but certainly product reviews are not nearly as important, but getting the most relevant traffic and converting it in the most efficient way are key aspects that you really should be focusing on, in addition to conversion and outside traffic is important. So, those are the important factors. But what I also like to tell the users about today is actual contextual SEO. So what I mean by that is, whenever you're optimizing a listing, you have to understand, like, what are the best keywords that you need to add in the most relevant way with the right kind of search volumes, and build a listing in the right way. But understanding how your competitors are optimizing for listings and where they are strong and weak, and understand how you can beat them, is a really important piece, when you're building your listing, and not forgetting that understanding your customers, and that at the end of the day, you still the best thing you can do once you're optimized is to make sure your customers actually understand how you've written your listing and they convert. Are the important factors you should be when you're building your listing, right? So contextual SEO is Amazon algorithm, best keywords to meet Amazon's business objectives, right? So the better you can do that, you use their programs, use all of their ways of optimizing the listing, that's going to really help you to get to one degree of SEO optimization. The second one is obviously humans, and making sure you understand your customers and what is important to them when they come to a listing, and ensuring your listing covers that so they actually convert. We have a few tools like Love-Hate that you can use, and obviously our AI integrated tool that will really help you to understand what's important to customers when they are looking for your type of product. And then obviously versus competition, where are they strong, where are they weak, and how do you beat them? And our keyword intelligence tool is a really good one that will show where your competitors are focusing, and importantly, where they're not focusing, and using that in your listing as well. So you're getting traffic converting that other competitors are not looking at. So that's the context piece of what you should be doing whenever you create a listing, is look at it from these 3 different factors for sure. All right, so optimizing listings for traffic and conversion, relevance, just a summary of that. Relevancy matters. Exact and broad match your as many keywords as possible upfront in your listing. So, our tool does a really good job of broad matching for the major relevant terms, right? Which is quite a hard exercise to do when you're creating a listing. But the more you can broad match for your main terms throughout your listing, starting with your title, your bullets, and your description, the better the algorithm is going to perform. So title, bullets, descriptions back in that order. Make sure you tag your images. You make sure you have overlays, including dimensions. I just looked at a listing earlier today, and they're on page 1 and they don't even have dimensions there. You have to have an image that has dimensions, and every single dimension that is important should be on that. That's a really important piece to help with conversions. Don't overstuff your keywords in your listing, and then make sure that it is there is an emotional context to your listings that connects with your customers and answers the right questions for them. So these are the kinds of things that you should be doing to optimize your listing. And when you do them, watch your session and conversion rates percentage, and see, once you've made that changes, are you getting more search session percentage, which is traffic, and are you converting that at a better level? And balancing those 2 out, I think, is a really important piece to watch when you do optimizations to your listing. And then don't forget to drive outside traffic. You will get rewarded for that. It will help the algorithm, and for sure you have to use Amazon PPC. It is pay to play on the Amazon PPC or sponsored ad side. But we still come across businesses and they're like, oh, we're doing great, but we don't do any Amazon sponsored ads. And I think that's a mistake if you do that, because number one, you're getting more traffic, more relevant traffic, you can scale your business. But number 2, Amazon is making money off of that, so they're gonna prefer your listing over others, right? So definitely use that as a program. How much you use it is up to you, but use it to some degree. Okay, and then the tools you should be using is a relevancy focused keyword tool. So again, not just a keyword tool that just does a reverse index for what competitors index for, but actually try and find the keywords that localized market is searching for, right? And we have some technology that will help you to find that. And a big difference in our tool to competitors is you'll see opportunity keywords in localized markets you won't find on other tools. So that's important. ChatGPT is great because it will give you that fast baseline of a well-optimized listing that is broad matched and exact matched in the right way for the algorithm as a baseline that you can then finesse further. So, you know, it doesn't just do things in a fast way, which is amazing, but it does it in the right way, which is quite it's quite a hard skill to perfect if you're just doing it yourself. And then track your changes on session and conversion rates. Make sure you're monitoring that when you do it on the product. The results overall for us, we track across our customer base. We see about a 36% improvement in listings in under a minute over the listings on page one using our ChatGPT integration, and tracking that in the marketplace, which if you see that as a baseline that you can then finesse based on some of the things that I talked about, and get help with that, that's a great improvement. And then we do see an overall 42% increase in revenue currently today across our portfolio of customers that have used our keyword tool and our listing optimization tool to improve their listings. So it does work, and you will see an increase in your revenue from not only the conversion aspect of it, but also as you get better conversion and you start to index for the most relevant terms, the algorithm will start to pick you up and send you more traffic as well. So that's it. I think, I will jump over very quickly and just show you some things inside of our tool, which will help you on the SEO side. The first thing to look at is our dashboard. You have a bunch of metrics you can look at, but more importantly, down below, you have a whole traffic section. So this is a pretty new addition in the dashboard area, which will break down traffic by mobile and browser, which, if you're not getting key insights around how your mobile traffic is converting versus your desktop traffic, you're missing a trick. So definitely ensure that you're looking at that, and then, understand with your changes you've made, which we can track within this tool, is your session percentage increasing and how is that impacting with your conversion percentage? And if you can really understand those two, you will really start to move the needle. And you can look at that in a detailed way by every single parent and SKU for some key metrics, including session and conversion percent right here. So you can see at the SKU level as well how your business is tracking. So any seller who's really scaling their business, they understand they should be looking at session and conversion percent. It is very, very troublesome to get out of Seller Central. So if you have a dashboard that can actually show you that, and more importantly, align that with some key events that you take, which we track as well, that's going to help you to understand how well your business is doing. And then the last piece, on the listing side is, definitely get in and try our AI tool. What the AI does at a high level, and I'll just show you this example of Golf Cooler. I'm not going to get into the details of exactly every single aspect of the tool, but at a high level, you can import keywords on the left-hand side that are used as prompts for the AI, and on the right, you can add up to 8 different listings to compare how well they are optimized. This is a listing done for Golf Cooler, and this is the best listing on page one, and you can see it's got a very good optimization score of 30,000 in the top 10% of listings on page one for this term. But I've just run an AI, and the AI is better actually from a baseline perspective. So it's a well-written listing in under a minute, starting with the title, the bullets, the description and the back-end search terms. So it's a well-optimized listing. I just typed in on a previous one. I just typed in that, so I'll just take that out. But you can finesse this listing by just writing anything after it in the listing, and finessing it and getting it to a great optimized score that is written in the right way for the algorithm. So again, look at it. It's well broad matched for a number of different terms throughout the whole listing, right? And that's the kind of thing that's going to really move the needle for your business. So give it a try. It takes 1 minute. You can sign up obviously through Lizette and Orange Click, and even in a free trial, go ahead and at least test your current listing. How does that score? And then run an AI one, which is aligned with the algorithm, and see how well that is optimized for, because that's going to make a big difference to your business overall. And that's it. So, those are high level, some, nuances on the algorithm side, nothing crazy new, but what is, what you should be focusing on as sellers that aligns with Amazon's business objectives is an important insight. And then, how do you actually get it the most relevant terms and write your listing in the way that matters for the algorithm are important factors that can move the needle. And importantly, tracking it from a session and conversion percent and seeing that what you've done actually makes a difference, and then finessing it further is critical.
Sounds very interesting. Thank you so much for that. And viewers, if you have any questions about Amazon algorithm or anything that John just showed during this interview, definitely leave questions as comments under the video as well, because then we can invite you back and answer those as well. So if the sellers who are watching us now got excited about the tools you have and will sign up for, let's say, first for the 7-day free trial, by the way, the link is in the description of the video. Then I wanted to ask, besides this listing optimizer tool, what tools you would recommend to first try out to see how the tools work?
Yeah, anybody listening, sign up. There's a 7-day free trial, but I would get in. I would recommend connecting to our business dashboard for that session and conversion percent, and seeing that at a high level for your business, plus all the other metrics. For an individual or for multiple markets across your brands is really critical insights. And, we have a lot of top sellers using our dashboard to optimize their business and getting results. So I would definitely use that. And then the second piece is, the keyword intelligence tool called Keywords on Fire, running that for your local markets, wherever you sell, and pulling those keywords out and looking at the search volume and the relevancy score of those terms. You will probably find keywords there that you don't have in your listings or even in your manual sponsored ads campaigns, and getting those keywords in there will give you opportunities that you're missing right now. So I would use the Keywords on Fire tool, the listing optimization tool, and then everything through to review automation, which if you don't have that for your business right now, or you haven't turned it on, that will make a massive difference to helping to increase the conversion rate, which we know is an important part of the algorithm.
And if you try out those tools, which are kind of new for you, then I know your website also has a lot of different videos, and you have a forum where you answer questions, but also on our Orange Click channel, there are videos about Keywords on Fire and some other tools you have. So maybe those could be also helpful in order to kind of translate a couple of data points the tools feature, and just give you like a head start of starting using the tools. So thank you so much, John, for joining me and sharing some latest thoughts about Amazon algorithm. And I hope I will see you soon again.
Thanks so much, Lizette. I appreciate it. And as you said, if anybody leaves questions on there, Orange Click does a really good job of getting me to answer them. So if you have questions, I'll jump in and answer those for you for sure.
I hope these SEO strategies will be profitable for your business. And if you want to try Zonguru for yourself, find the link below in the description, and also a special offer with a discount. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe buttons below, and leave comment telling what you think about the video and if you have additional questions. And now I would like to recommend you to watch other videos about Zonguru. It's the whole playlist. You will learn more about Zonguru features and how it can help your Amazon business.